What if I told you the most controversial figure in MMA wasn't the loudest trash talker or the wildest partygoer, but the guy who followed the rules, upheld sportsmanship, and tried to be a role model? Meet Daniel Cormier, a two-division champion, an Olympic wrestler, and a man whose career should have been a celebrated tale of perseverance and success. Yet, instead of universal admiration, Cormier found himself at the center of criticism and sometimes outright hate. Why? Because being the nice guy isn't always easy in a sport like MMA, where larger-than-life personalities, controversies, and chaos often steal the spotlight. Fans rally behind his rival, Jon Jones, a fighter whose troubled past and unpredictable nature made him a polarizing anti-hero. Meanwhile, Cormier's clean-cut image and emotional vulnerability led some to label him soft or even fake. It didn't matter that Cormier overcame unimaginable hardships, losing his daughter at a young age, enduring the pain of Olympic defeat, and starting his MMA journey later than most. His dominance in the cage, his victories over legends, and even his championship reigns were overshadowed by public perception and the shadow of Jon Jones. So how did Daniel Cormier become the nice guy everyone loved to hate? And what does this tell us about the world of MMA, where respect and skill don't always translate into popularity? Let's dive into the story of a fighter who gave his all, stayed true to himself, and still had to face the brutal reality of being the nice guy in a sport that thrives on chaos. 1. The rise of Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier's journey is nothing short of inspiring. Born in Lafayette, Louisiana, he endured immense personal tragedies, including losing his daughter in a car accident and his father to gun violence. Yet these hardships fueled his passion for wrestling, where he became a dominant force, eventually representing the USA in the Olympics. Transitioning into MMA, Cormier quickly rose through the ranks. His heavyweight debut in Strikeforce showcased his relentless grit and technical prowess. He became the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix champion and later moved to the UFC, where his versatility and work ethic earned him championship belts in two divisions, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Despite his success, Cormier's image didn't resonate with everyone. While fans admired his skill, his persona as a nice guy who followed the rules seemed to create a disconnect. 2. The Jon Jones rivalry. One of the most defining aspects of Cormier's career was his rivalry with Jon "Bones" Jones. Their feud went beyond the Octagon, filled with trash talk, personal insults, and heated exchanges. Cormier, often seen as the responsible and disciplined athlete, contrasted sharply with Jones, who was brash, controversial, and rebellious. While Cormier tried to play the role of the moral compass, fans gravitated towards the Cormier was trying too hard to be liked, while Jones embraced his flaws unapologetically. 3. The nice guy paradox in MMA. MMA is a sport built on intensity, aggression, and calculated. Many fans questioned whether Cormier's public demeanor matched his true personality. His commentary career, where he occasionally made polarizing remarks, further fueled this perception. This paradox hurt Cormier's popularity. In a sport where anti-heroes are celebrated, being the nice guy didn't make him the fan favorite. 4. Redemption and legacy. Despite the criticism, Cormier's achievements speak volumes. He is one of the few fighters to hold belts in two divisions simultaneously. His trilogy with Stipe Miocic showcased his resilience, even as he dealt with injuries and the challenges of aging in a demanding sport. Outside the Octagon, Cormier has become a respected commentator and mentor, contributing to the growth of MMA. His work ethic, humility, and love for his family make him a role model. Cormier's legacy is a reminder that public opinion doesn't define greatness. While some fans may focus on his defeats or rivalries, his impact on the sport is undeniable. 5. The weight of expectations. Being a two-division champion comes with immense expectations, and for Cormier, the pressure was even greater. As a role model and ambassador of the sport, he had to constantly walk a fine line, being dominant in the cage while maintaining his good guy persona outside of it. Critics often pointed out that Cormier's success in the light heavyweight division came in Jon Jones' absence due to suspensions. This unfairly placed an asterisk next to his achievements. Every win, no matter how impressive, was overshadowed by the lingering question, what if Jones were here? The weight of these expectations and comparisons made it difficult for Cormier to truly enjoy his victories. 6. The emotional vulnerability of Cormier. Unlike many fighters who mask their emotions, Cormier often wore his heart on his sleeve. Whether it was his tearful reaction after losing to Jones or his open discussions about the challenges of fatherhood, Cormier showed a side of himself that many fighters shy away from. While this vulnerability endeared him to some, it also became ammunition for others. Fans used his emotional reactions to mock him, labeling him as soft in a sport where stoicism is often glorified. But in truth, his openness made him more relatable, a champion who wasn't afraid to show his human side. 7. The Commentary Conspiracies. After transitioning into commentary, Cormier quickly became a prominent voice in the UFC. His insights, humor, and chemistry with co-hosts like Joe Rogan made him a fan favorite, at least initially. However, as his commentary career progressed, Cormier faced criticism for alleged bias during fights involving his teammates or former rivals. For example, fans accused him of favoring fighters from his training camp, aka American Kickboxing Academy, or being overly critical of fighters he had personal history with. This perception, whether true or not, fed into the narrative that Cormier couldn't escape his biases, further polarizing the audience. 8. The Shadow of Jon Jones. Even after retirement, Jon Jones' shadow looms large over Cormier's legacy. Their rivalry is one of the most infamous in MMA history, but it's also one of the most lopsided. Despite Cormier's achievements, his inability to defeat Jones in their two fights became a recurring narrative in discussions about his career. Jones' ability to get under Cormier's skin, both inside and outside the Octagon, played a significant role in shaping public opinion. For some fans, Cormier's failure to settle the score with Jones overshadowed his incredible accomplishments. 9. The role of social media in shaping narratives. In today's digital age, public opinion is heavily influenced by social media. For Cormier, this became a double-edged sword. While he used platforms like Twitter and Instagram to connect with fans, they also became spaces for criticism and trolling. Memes, videos, and viral posts often painted Cormier in an unflattering light, exaggerating his losses or emotional reactions. The online narrative didn't always reflect the reality of his career, but played a significant role in shaping how the MMA community perceived him. 10. The legacy of Daniel Cormier. As time passes, the noise surrounding rivalries and controversies will fade, leaving behind the true legacy of Daniel Cormier. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a pioneer for athletes who started late in MMA, proving that grit and determination could overcome almost any obstacle. Cormier's success in two divisions, his work as a coach and mentor, and his contributions to the sport as a commentator have solidified his place in MMA history. His journey reminds us that greatness isn't just about wins and losses. It's about the impact you leave on the people and the sport you love. Daniel Cormier's story is complex, a tale of triumph, heartbreak, and the struggle to be understood. He might not have been the most loved fighter, but he was undoubtedly one of the best. His journey shows us that being the nice guy isn't always easy, especially in a world that thrives on drama and conflict. So why does everyone hate the nice guy? Maybe it's because the nice guy reminds us of what we could be, but aren't. Or maybe it's because, deep down, we know the nice guy doesn't always get the credit they deserve. For Daniel Cormier, history will remember him as a champion, a trailblazer, and above all, a fighter who stayed true to himself. And that's something no amount of boos or criticism can ever take away.